1 month prior to my mother learning she was expecting me, my paternal grandmother died. Upon discovering I was female, my father demanded they give me her name. As I matured, it was obvious I resembled her greatly. During childhood, the mentions and likenesses felt positive. I liked listening to tales about my grandma. The similarities were invariably flattering. Then I reached my late adolescence. I began pursuing activities my relatives opposed. I selected a university and profession that displeased my dad. He started likening me to my grandmother, but negatively. He emphasized I needed to honor her memory. He claimed I'd disappoint her if I didn't follow her path. This scared me, and I resisted altering my choices. It persisted. I outgrew specific interests and got reprimanded by my dad and uncles since your grandma loved those. I'd explain I no longer did, and they'd demand I must because I mirrored her. That truly made me abandon the interests further. Earlier, it was due to fading enthusiasm and developing fresh ones. Now, it stemmed from avoiding anything she did. After all, it was evidently imposed on me forever. In university, I altered my hairstyle, and they panicked again. That's when I sought counseling and understood that for ages, they'd essentially viewed me as their mom's rebirth. My dad had twisted my whole self to align with his mother's. I began doubting if I genuinely enjoyed some things and if my dad truly cared for me as myself. So I commenced self-discovery, experimenting with novel pursuits. My dad kept getting distressed. The largest distress came when I adopted an abbreviated form of my name. My complete name is Lorraine, but I began using Rain. Some pals had nicknamed me that in secondary school and higher education, but I adopted it fully. My dad and uncles declined to use it and became angry if others did. Next, I colored my hair. I still resemble her facially, but my locks were always equated to hers, and I knew it stung my dad and uncles. I clarified my reasons, and they labeled me overly theatrical, yet the equivalences persisted. Currently, I'm 27 and marrying next year. My dad lately inquired if I'd alter my surname. I affirmed yes. He pleaded for me to retain it since, despite using Rain, my official name matches my grandmother's exactly. I stated I desired to share the surname with my spouse and any kids we might have. I also revealed I was using this opportunity to legally switch my first name to Rain. I'll preserve my middle name, which I also share with my grandmother. My dad was deeply distressed and accused me of vindictiveness. I denied it. I'm attempting to reclaim my individuality. I highlighted that I don't live to embody his mother's revival, and perhaps if he hadn't forced the persona so intensely, I wouldn't need to do this. He grew more agitated and remarked maybe someday I'll grasp how it feels after he's gone. He hasn't communicated with me for several days, and my mom says I wounded his emotions. She believes I shouldn't have disclosed the legal first name change and shouldn't have voiced all that. My fiancé supports me, so I'm unsure what to believe. Am I the fool? Not the fool, and stating you'll comprehend when he's deceased is a major guilt inducement. I'd retort with, and if I died, Dad, would you grieve me or your mother? Do you truly recognize me beyond what echoes her? The father is extremely harmful and controlling, and the mom enables it. The poster's mom should have strived more to halt it. It's fine and even charming to bear a cherished relative's name, but anticipating them to mirror them precisely, pursue all they did, enjoy all they favored, etc., is insane and renders her relatives fools. I wager Grandma has been quite displeased with her offspring for their treatment of her granddaughter and namesake. Yes, your mom contributes to the issue too. I suggest reducing contact or going no contact. Your dad and uncles obviously require therapy. 28 years of therapy. They're handling their sorrow in a very detrimental way for themselves and you. You merit being your unique self without the weight of matching your grandma. To begin, I, 35 male, am separated and my former spouse is 36. We share parenting effectively. I have my son, an early adolescent, every alternate week, and she has him the others. On Saturdays, we attempt a joint family activity before he heads to the other parent. I should clarify, we raise him differently. I'm far more relaxed provided he maintains grades and avoids issues. His mother is more involved and acts like a supervising parent, to phrase it. For example, she permits video games solely on Friday, limited to 1 or 2 hours. He has a firm 9 p.m. curfew daily. She prepares all his meals as she dislikes quick food or similar and prohibits it. Conversely, I enforce 9 p.m. on school evenings, but 11 on Fridays. On Fridays, I don't mind if he games for several hours if he finishes homework and hits bedtime. With that explained, this week I observed him studying more than typical. He mentioned upcoming tests on Friday: algebra, English, and history. I proposed assisting with studies, but he declined, saying he managed alone. He's usually fine academically, mostly B grades. Friday arrives, and upon returning from school, he's thrilled, announcing he passed everything and actually excelled in all. I was immensely proud, praised him, and chose to treat him. He'd mentioned gaming together lately, so I selected games. We picked Diablo 3, and I got pizza delivered. From around 8 p.m. to 1 a.m., we played Diablo, shared laughs, consumed pizza, and enjoyed ourselves. I emphasized we extended play only due to his test success. Today, he informs my ex-wife, and she explodes at me privately, alleging I damaged his nutrition, rest routine, and their bond, claiming he'd favor me henceforth. I countered that it was a treat for earning all A's, and he should enjoy childhood occasionally. We debated extensively, but it concluded with her deeming me a fool and departing with our son for her week. I'm somewhat torn as I believe he earned the reward, but I understand she might view it as me being the entertaining parent. Am I the fool for this? You're the fool. You act as the amusement park dad and return him exhausted on Saturday for her to manage the fallout. I have an early adolescent, and his conduct is heavily impacted by sleep and particularly screen exposure, not merely the following day. You're a guardian, meaning you decide based on your child's long-term health, not just enjoyment. Establishing these parenting differences isn't achieving that. Additionally, Diablo is rated mature and unsuitable for an early teen. Purchasing a game and allowing a few extra hours until 11 p.m. would be fine. 1 a.m. is excessively late for a child to remain awake solely for a game. He could continue the next day. He's an early adolescent, and 9 p.m. is absurd for weekends. She's domineering and should focus on her style. You didn't see him griping about her overprotectiveness. She can parent her way and he his, provided they're secure and balanced. The benefit of a wife turning ex is ignoring her scolding over trivial matters. Advise her to back off and continue being a solid dad to your son. Not the fool. My companions, whom I'll name Muriel, 22 female, Lisbon, 21 female, and I, 21 female, hailed a rideshare to head out this weekend. Right after entering the vehicle, our driver, late 30s, began a rant on his crumbling life. For 30 minutes, he treated us as trapped listeners to complain about his relationship and job setbacks. He boasted of earning $200,000 in technology before, but was terminated, and now his spouse seeks separation. Then he ranted about his wife, questioning how she could desert him without cause during hardship after 15 years, and she'd take their children. He claimed he'd drive rideshare briefly to connect and return to tech, plus for engaging talks like these. The discussion shifted to our abilities, and he quizzed us on our fields and ages. He mentioned studying computer science formerly. Muriel shared she's focusing on history, and he commented, "All right, so just add the fries to the order." I stated I'm focusing on women, gender, and sexuality. He cut in, saying another valueless field.